last week. Sorry.
Up 9 minutes.
Mga kababayan, naharap na naman po tayo sa mabigat na pagsubok na ito. Ito yung COVID-19.
I hope everyone's okay. I hope everyone's safe.
Nandito po kami para hikayatin pa po kayo na maging matibay.
Mas maging matatag po tayo and just stay positive po sa lahat po ng nangyayari ngayon.
Mga mahal kong kababayan, lampasan po natin, pagtagumpayan po natin ang pagsubok na ito.
Stay strong sa panahon po na to.
Huwag tayong mawawalan ng pag-asa.
At inihikayat din po namin kayo na sana makinig po tayo sa ating gobyerno.
Sumunod muna tayo sa gobyerno dahil yun yung pinakamainam na paraan para hindi na lumagana pa yung virus.
Let's all stay at home.
Spend time with our loved ones, with our families.
At higit po sa lahat, make sure to pray for everyone, pray for everything that is going on right now, especially our frontliners po who are sacrificing their lives to take care of everything.
Higit sa lahat, patuloy tayong lumapit, magtiwala at manalangin sa ating Panginoong Diyos.
Lagi tayong manalangin dahil yung po ang may pinaka-mainam na solusyon sa lahat po ng mga problema natin.
God bless you and your family. Please stay strong and keep our faith.
Tuloy po ang laban.
Magandang umaga, Filipinos. Good morning. You're watching Eagle News Mornings from Canada. I'm Thomas I. Likeness, reporting from our Eagle News studio in the Western Canadian province of Alberta. My city is Edmonton, and I'm here to bring you news and commentary from across the country. Now, before we begin today, on behalf of our Eagle News team in Canada, you've been in our thoughts this past week as a result of Typhoon Ulysses. We offer our deepest condolences to all of the families affected by this tragedy. You know, we've seen the pictures, we've seen the devastation, and in our case, we've talked to family who've been affected. Again, we wish you well as you recover from this calamity, and stay strong. Checking the weather this morning in Manila, sunny to partly cloudy today. Slight chance, only a 2% chance of thunderstorms. High should reach 33 with a real feel of 38. Currently a few clouds, 26 degrees, feels like 31, and the air quality is excellent. We turn down to the weather map in Canada. Our street scene today coming from Stanley Park in Vancouver, BC, and a big thank you to Jeffrey DeLeon for this shot. Victoria, light rain and 12 degrees. Vancouver, mostly cloudy and 10. We go eastward to Edmonton in Alberta, sunny, chilly and -4. Calgary, partly cloudy and 1 degree. In Saskatchewan, Regina has mist in the air, -8. Saskatoon, cloudy and -8. Winnipeg, mostly cloudy and -4. Toronto, light rain and 13 degrees. Ottawa, light rain and 3. Montreal, light rain and 5. The Atlantic provinces, Fredericton reporting 3 degrees under sunny skies. Halifax is partly cloudy and 2. And in St. John's, Newfoundland, cloudy and 1 degree. The top of the news, a dire warning from Canada's top doctor, Canadian Chief Public Health Officer, Dr. Theresa Tan, telling us if COVID-19 keeps spreading at its current rate, in 2 weeks, by early December, there'll be an average of 10,000 new cases a day. So far, there have been more than 4,600 new cases daily, and she says social gatherings are the primary cause of the spread.
An important driver of this increased disease activity continues to be informal social gatherings and activities both inside and outside our homes. In these more relaxed settings, such as family get-togethers, birthday parties, holiday celebrations, and recreational activities, it is natural to relax. This can mean it is easy to forget and to let our guard down on the necessary precautions.
Don't get it, though, that small get-together, you know, at your friend's house, the family dinner with your relatives. These can all turn into super spreader events. And sadly for now, until there are treatments, until there's a vaccine, we have to limit our in-person contacts.
And we're continuing to be there to support the provinces in every way we can. But that sort of impresses on us all how much we need to get things under control now. As hospitals start to get overwhelmed in various parts of the country, as resources start to grow thin, as people are giving up on contact tracing, the federal government can add more, but not an unlimited amount. That's why we all have to make sure we do not get to the kinds of spikes that are being projected, that with the approach of winter, we all realize we've got to get this back under control and everyone needs to do their part.
In response, many provinces have brought in tighter restrictions. One of them is Ontario, and we have this report from our Eagle News correspondent, Ashley Sackmar.
Toronto has been seeing a consistent increase in COVID-19 cases this week. On Thursday, Dr. Eileen De Villa, Toronto's Chief Medical Officer of Health, reported 500 new cases of COVID-19 in the city, 164 of which are in hospitals and 36 are in the ICU. Cumulatively, Toronto reports 2,432 cases in the last 5 days. Here's what she has to say about the situation.
As I said on Tuesday, and I will say again today, you should assume COVID-19 is everywhere, and that without proper protections, you are at risk of infection.
One of the most important responses to COVID-19 is contact tracing. According to the City of Toronto, Toronto Public Health's contact tracing team aims to reach out to more than 90% of those who tested positive within 24 hours of receiving their result. Dr. De Villa also announced Thursday of the additional contact tracing enhancements that the city has implemented.
We have now launched new automated platforms as part of our case and contact management, so we can reach people quickly and gather more information about their illness. We have a new notification system, drawing upon visitor and customer logs from venues to notify people who may have been exposed to COVID-19. This system has been created to reach more people in a timely way. So let me explain how the system works. Initially, the system was designed to alert low-risk contacts of people diagnosed with COVID-19 about community exposure. Low-risk contacts receive a text message indicating they will receive a call from Toronto Public Health. Then follows an automatic voice message describing when and where they may have been exposed and providing instructions on how to self-monitor for symptoms of COVID-19.
Clearly, there is anxiety over the city going back to a complete lockdown like the entire province did in spring. Dr. De Villa clarifies some of the recommendations that the city has made to help lower the number of positive cases.
Don't spend time in social settings. Wherever possible, avoid in-person contact with people you don't live with. It won't be forever, but it should be for the foreseeable future.
Toronto Mayor John Tory gives a very simple but blunt advice.
My message today with respect to COVID is very blunt and very simple. Please stay home. Please don't socialize with people that you don't live with. Please don't have people over. Please stay home, except if you have to go to work or to school or pick up some essentials or to exercise.
Starting Saturday, new COVID-19 protections will be implemented in the city. Torontonians are now advised to only leave their homes for essential activities and to only socialize with people in the same household, to keep at least 6 feet apart from people, and to wear a mask when outside of their homes and when physical distancing is a challenge. As of Thursday, there are a total of 33,322 cases of COVID-19 in the city of Toronto, 1,432 deaths, and 27,773 people have recovered. In Toronto, Ashley Sakmar, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
How safe do you feel when you push a grocery cart at the supermarket? Well, in the British Columbia capital of Victoria on Vancouver Island, a chain of grocery stores has come up with a different way to sanitize shopping carts. Quality Foods has installed a gadget at one of its stores in Victoria. On its website, the company describes it as a car wash for shopping carts. It uses ultraviolet light instead of soap and water to kill the COVID virus and other germs. The cars are pushed into an enclosure where they're bathed in UV light. The whole process only takes a few seconds. When they come out, the company says the carts are germ-free. Quality Foods says other items such as baskets and groceries can be disinfected with this device. If you're just joining us right now, it's coming up on 7:20 at Eagle News Mornings Canada. And we're joined this morning by our bureau chief in the state of Hawaii, Alfred Asenas. Good morning, Alfred. Thank you for joining us. Tell us about the COVID situation in the island Paradise, which, of course, is one of Canada's top winter getaway destinations.
You're right about that, Thomas, and aloha to our viewers around the world. Our hearts and prayers are first and foremost to the victims of the recent typhoon Ulysses, or Vamco, which is the international name. And I do want to shout out and quickly say thanks, mahalo, to our Philippine correspondents who post their situations, their photos on social media, particularly Twitter. Eagle News Hawaii follows those, by the way. And we thank you, Eagle News in the Philippines, for keeping us updated on the situation. Now, the situation here, Thomas, regarding COVID-19 is that ever since late September, Honolulu, or the island of Oahu, has kicked off this tier or staged reopening. We started at Tier 1 up until the late October. We're currently under Tier 2, and I'm hoping we can see that graphic. Okay, there's Tier 2 right now. And we're trying to aim for Tier 3, in which we're going to need to stay below the daily rolling average of 50 cases or the positivity rate of below 2.5, which unfortunately is not the case in the last couple of weeks. So City and County has decided that we give ourselves a couple more weeks, which will take us through December to stay at Tier 3 and hopefully meet the conditions under and be ideal for Tier 3 for reopening. So we're going to show you a bit of what Tier 2 looks like in the so-called island paradise, Thomas, and consider this as your refresher course on what the ocean looks like, because I don't think you can have access to that in the middle of the continent. But that's what it looks like. I tell you,
if I could hop on a plane, I'd be on my way now.
So that's what it looks like yesterday in East Oahu, Sandy Beach Park. And it's not a whole lot of crowds. And really, that's also typical around this time of year before the real holiday travel season kicks in. And so right now, we've averaged for the month of November about 6,000 to 7,000 arrivals per day, compared to about 1,000 to 5,000 back in October. So that's where we stand right now in our slow but steady reopening. Keeping in mind, though, that we're keeping tabs on what's happening in mainland U.S. and Canada, which unfortunately, also experiencing some surges here and there, Tom.
So where are the people coming from right now?
So really the bulk of the arrivals are still coming from the mainland U.S. We've also reported that several airlines, United, Delta, Hawaiian, American, and a whole host of others that fly to and from here, have established partnerships to provide pre-travel testing, which for the most part works. The challenge, though, and this is what Dr. Fauci pointed out our state government interviewed him, it only takes one to slip through the cracks through our system and unfortunately cause a spread here in the islands. So we have several measures, and the state government is monitoring the situation, especially with Canada, which is, by the way, the second largest foreign visitor market for Hawaii, Tom. So hang in there. It's going to reopen sooner or later.
Are you anticipating come January, February, because that's when it's a real deep freeze here, at least in my province it is. You get down to that minus 30-degree weather, and yeah, you want a couple of weeks in Hawaii, nothing like it in the middle of winter. Do you anticipate a rush of tourists come the early new year?
This is right now just speculation, of course, that December we will see an uptick of visitor arrivals. Whether or not Canada is going to be, up next is up to the state. Let's face it, Japan itself also is facing, some surge in cases. So whether or not, it'll influence the decision by the state to allow Canada. Oh, by the way, we have to depend on the federal government's decision because they have to open the borders too. So once they open the borders there, the several thousand-mile border, it's the border here will open up as well, Thomas. So sooner than later,
we sit back and wait. I don't see the 49th parallel opening up anytime soon. Not with the number of cases being reported in the U.S. and the number of cases in Canada. They're talking about in a couple of weeks we could be peaking at 10,000 a day, which is getting at the level you are, which you're over 100,000 now. We got a tenth of the population. Do the math. We're coming pretty close.
Yeah, we are. And the bigger problem here is the ability to reach back for resources from the mainland, which the mainland, of course, has its own set of problems. So you get the tyranny of distance. So we cannot allow ourselves to be overwhelmed. That's for sure.
If we have to, for the sake of everyone, I guess the vacation is on hold for another year. Thanks for joining us this morning, Alfred, and we'll talk to you again.
Thanks, Alfred DeSantis. We'll live interesting times. Thank you.
We're going to turn to sports now. We're 3 days away from the long-awaited NBA draft. And for the first time in league history, it will be held virtually. Going to be at ESPN headquarters. That's in Bristol, Connecticut. Eagle sports correspondent Tenny Samagi is here with us this morning. Tell us more about this guard-heavy draft class. Good morning, Tenny. How are you?
Good morning, Tom. I'm doing great. And yes, it is a guard-heavy draft class this year. But unlike previous years, this class, there's not much hype surrounding the players. But we'll hear more from Tyrese Halliburton and RJ Hampton, who will share more on what talents they will bring to the NBA.
Just think, my overall basketball IQ, I'm really a student of the game. I love the game of basketball, so I'm really obsessed with it. I spend a lot of time watching film or, in the gym or just doing something that's basketball related. I think that separates me. But at the same time, I really, truly feel like I'm the best facilitator in this draft, the best shooter in this draft, and one of the highest basketball IQs. So, obviously I have that confidence in myself. I feel like that's what separates me, but I'm not the one who makes the decisions November 18th. So, hopefully we can have this conversation, in a year or two and see what separates me.
I think the NBA teams are kind of finding out that I'm still the same player, before I left for New Zealand that I am now. I think, nothing's changed, but, just growing as a player in person, getting better. I didn't have the ESPN games or the ESPN hype that, a lot of guys had, but I had the work ethic. I had great teammates that, helped me every single day. And, I surrounded myself with, great people in Penny Hardaway and Mike Miller that just only helped me get better from last year.
We'll find out more where Halliburton, Hampton, and the rest of the NBA draft class this year will be going to on November 18th. In New York, Tenny Samagi, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
Kenny, quickly, what do you hope to see in Wednesday's draft? Virtually, that's, well, would normally be a tradition in the regular NBA draft.
You know, Tom, I've covered this for Eagle News for the past 3 years, and the one thing that I love to see is how the players dress up. Last year, we saw Zion Williamson pay homage to LeBron James wearing white, so I'm hoping to see what these kids will wear. Even though it's virtually, I hope these kids will dress up in their nice suits or look all glammed up.
Okay, in this guard-heavy class, who do you see going number one to the Minnesota Timberwolves?
Well, it's going to be a toss-up between Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball. If you don't know who LaMelo Ball is, he's the brother of Lonzo Ball, who had a lot of hype when he was drafted back in 2017. And he's also known because his father is a outspoken father who's talked a lot, especially about his sons. So it's a toss-up between both of them, but I would probably like to see Anthony Edwards go number one.
Thanks for joining us this morning, Tenny, and that's our program for today. And as always, on behalf of the Canadian News team, I wish you all good health. Take care of others and take care of yourselves. Stay home, stay safe, and stay tuned to Eagle News for accurate and balanced coverage of the COVID-19 pandemic and other current affairs. In Edmonton, Canada, Thomas I. Likeness, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Stay tuned for Kid Cuento.